Hi, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and this is now September 1st, so that means we're going to do a month-long August haul of various Blu-rays and 4Ks that I picked up over the month. So let's go sit back and check it out. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate that you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share with your friends. That's greatly appreciated. I do videos on a daily basis, so let's get into this. So, since this is my first month-long haul video, I just want to give you a little background about me as a collector. So I was married before, and in 2013, I actually divorced, and it was kind of a tough time financially at that point. So I had to make some tough decisions, and one of the decisions was to sell most of my movie collection. It's a thing I had to do, and even today I'm still playing a lot of catch up. And of course, introducing 4K into the mix, I don't necessarily want to buy titles that I think are going to be getting the 4K treatment in the next 1, 2, or even 3 year cycle. So buying catalog titles at this time is it's tricky. So I have to make judgment calls, but I still get them on occasion in the Blu-ray format. And, so when I go over these, I'm going to have like 3 categories. So it's going to just be, like a new buy, a 4K, or a rebuy. So there's going to be some blind buys in there, and I'll mention them as well. But just to give you an understanding. So you're going to see some titles that were a good deal on Amazon or Best Buy or whatever. And I picked them up, and those are restocking my collection that I lost those years ago. So let's get started. First 2 are Goon and Goon Last of the Enforcers, which I did a video on a couple days ago. I'll post links to the ones I did videos on in the description. But this was a blind buy, but I felt it was a safe blind buy, and despite a few things, I still agree with that. And of course, the original Goon. And God, I was surprised to see slipcovers on both of them. That's great. So definitely worth buying. The next ones are 10 Things I Hate About You. Now, this is definitely a rebuy. I owned this a while ago, and this had to go with the big sale back then. So I saw $5 at Best Buy the other day, and I was like, okay, sure. Good movie, Heath Ledger, awesome. Fun film. Next up, we have Hatchet, and then Hatchet 3, and Victor Crawley. Now, these I picked up in the last 2 weeks. I'm still missing Hatchet 2. But once I get these are all blind buys. I haven't seen them. I've had good friends recommend these. So once I get a hold of Hatchet 2, I'm going to do a marathon on all 4 films, and then I'm going to do a blind buy review video for all 4. I don't know if I'm going to do it separately or do them all together, but I will definitely be doing a blind buy on these movies. And let's see, next up, this was a movie I saw in the theater. I really enjoyed it. And it was one that should have gotten the 4K treatment. This is one of those where it's like, why didn't they do the 4K? So I held out a while to get this and pretty much gave up on the 4K. If it comes, great, then just have to sell this one. That'd be Happy Deathday. And it also has a really nice slipcover. It's nice embossing, and for a PG-13 horror film, you really gotta either entertain the hell out of me or surprise me. And it did the former. But it's a good movie. It's fun. It's not really scary. It's typical mask guy, but in the vein of Groundhog Day, then in a horror setting, it's good. I think they could have gone a little bit further in some circumstances, but it's excellent movie. It's fun. Get one if you can with a slipcover, because slipcovers are awesome. Next up. So I did a review of these movies, which I'll get to in a little bit, but the director of those movies also did this one. This is a blind buy. This is Spring. I will be doing a video review of this one in a week or 2. I heard good things about this. Friends recommended it. the directors are very good at crafting a story. I have no doubt that Spring is going to it's gonna entertain me at the very least, and I felt this was a very safe blind buy. No problem. I have no fear about this one. So in a couple weeks, look for that video review. Next up, this one had a little bit of interesting story. Several years ago, DC Animation did a Doomsday Superman animated movie. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. It was awful. The way Lex Luthor was portrayed was just terrible, and trying to cram all of that into one story is just the. So I guess recognizing the error of their ways, they decided to release the Death of Superman, which is the straight up story and not what happens after. That's coming in January. But I did manage to get a hold of the Target Steelbook, which looks really nice. It's really nice. And I'm happy to say it's a decent story. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the new 52 outfits that they keep going with, but I think those are eventually going to get phased out, considering they phase them out in the comics. And of course, animation is a year or two behind, so I have no doubt a lot of the movies coming in the future are going to do away with the new 52 and go back to classics, or a little amalgamation of both, which I'd be fine with. But this is decent. Animation, they tend to seem to rush that a little bit and cut a few corners. You can definitely see it if you know what you're looking for. But Death of Superman, it's good. It's a worthy pickup. Check it out if you can. Next up, I did one of my first reviews for the channel was this movie, Marrowbone. This was also a blind buy. Friend or a couple friends actually recommended this. It's a good thriller. It's very atmospheric, if you like those, and it's definitely worth a check out. I won't linger too much on it because I did a review, which I'll throw that link as well into the description. But yeah, check out Marrowbone. You really can't go wrong. It's a decent film. I would like to see more of this creative team in the future and see what they can put together. Next up these are not rebuys. These are older titles that I've been getting back more into the 3D. Despite having an OLED, not having the 3D capability in this TV that I own, I still have ability to watch 3D through the PlayStation VR. It's not perfect. It really isn't. But it's better than nothing until I can afford, maybe a 2016 OLED just for the 3D. I can get that and put that in my other room. But Captain America and Thor, these complete the 3D MCU movies that I've been missing. I have everything else. I've had to import the last few years because Disney and Marvel in America stopped supporting 3D. I haven't had a chance to watch these yet in 3D. I've seen these movies in 2D many times in the theater, several times as well. So when I do eventually get to them, it's going to be more of to see how the 3D looks. But yeah, these complete my MCU missing titles. It's a shame I couldn't get a hold of the special editions. I believe the Steelbook was going for like $200 or $300. That's insane. But anyways, I'm looking forward to checking these out in the near future as well. Next up is one that I did a review on last week, and that's Deadpool 2 Steelbook. For it's a good follow-up. It actually sits a lot better with me in the extended cut, which I've talked about that in the previous video. If you want to know my thoughts on it, please go ahead and check it out. It's a cool looking Steelbook. Everything I had to say was in that video, so yeah, get Deadpool 2. It's really good. Next up is the triumvirate of Avengers Infinity War titles I picked up. Was my first video, was a shopping video for that. And of course we have the Steelbook, the Best Buy Steelbook. And then of course the Target. And the standard slip, which I still recommend picking it up if you can find it, because that slip is really nice. So check out that video. I did a full rundown on that. And so All right, so the next ones are movies I just picked up this week. I won't go into it. I got these during the shopping video, but that would be Upgrade and Tag. Both really good movies. Check them out. They're great. Like I said, check out the video if you want to hear my thoughts on the movies themselves. I still haven't had a chance to watch them, so I can't really speak to their quality. I'm sure it's fine. I'm anxious. I'm probably going to check out Upgrade this weekend, see how that looks, and then I'll get to Tag sometime after. But I recommend both. They're really good. All right, next up is something I got with The Death of Superman. It came out that week, which is the 4K Predator series. All three films in 4K, and they look really spectacular in my opinion. Predator, it's the first Predator movie itself has been plagued with bad disc problems. The video quality, a lot of over DNR. It's just, they've never looked good. These look very, very good. The best they've ever been on a home video format. I can't recommend these enough. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, I'm a fan of the Predator series, all of them. Even Predator 2, I mean, which really is very underrated. And they're great movies. Get it. Check them out. They're really, really excellent. Next up is one of those that is a rebuy. I owned this years ago. Had to sell it, unfortunately. That would be James Gunn's Super. I'm not going to speak to all of the stuff that's going on with James Gunn. That's been said to death on many platform. I don't need to put my 2 cents in. But this is a very interesting movie. It's very dark humor, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's kind of like where Kick-Ass, which is another movie that I just love. It's kind of like the answer to Kick-Ass in more of a realistic sense. Where Kick-Ass was like realistic, but you know, there's a little, you know, not super, but little extraordinary stuff going on in this. This is like down to earth, gritty. It's funny. It's got some dark humor. But I've been waiting for this to come because when the whole scandal happened, the price for this skyrocketed. It was hovering around $15 for the longest time. I'm like, nah, I could do better. I can get that for like 10. And then the thing with Gunn happened, and then this was just like selling for like $30. I saw it at one point on Amazon, I believe. And I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to wait for this again. But then the other day, lo and behold, $12 on Amazon. Deal. Buy it. Yeah, absolutely. This is another movie I saw in the theaters, was hoping for a 4K release, and you're going to start seeing a pattern. A lot of these 4K releases don't seem to happen when it comes to a comedy. It's unfortunate. I don't know why. It's kind of like 4K is like, a lot of studios are 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing. They're still not fully embracing it. I don't know, but anyway, it's Blockers. Very entertaining movie, very funny. John Cena's great in it. Even the kids, who I thought were going to be the weakest link, not necessarily the weakest link, they were funny. And it's a good movie. Yes, you can get the 4K version on iTunes. I don't go digital unless I absolutely have to. I do own an Apple 4K, Apple TV 4K, but you know, I'm going to support physical media. That's what I'm all about, physical media. I think I maybe have like 2 movies that are on digital only. Like you can't get them on disc or anything. But Blockers is a lot of fun. I got the Blu Ray. That was part of, I got that with Happy Deathday. They did a 2 sale at Best Buy. So I was like, all right, it's been a while. I don't think they're coming out with the 4K anytime soon. So let's go for Blockers. Next up was a pickup I got recently with Best Buy's Deal of the Day, which is Hobbit 3D, extended edition, of course. This is the first one, The Unexpected Journey. So I have the extended versions of the normal Blu Ray. I do not have the other extended editions in 3D. I will be getting the other 2 when they come down in price. I think they're currently at like $25 or so on Amazon. So I'm patient. I'll get to them. I'm actually planning a Lord of the Rings extended marathon in a week or so. Love going. I try to go back to those every year. Hobbit, while they're not as good, they're like a once every 2-3 year type watch. Of course, I'm waiting on 4K. I will absolutely buy it on 4K. Whenever that happens, I'm patient sometimes. So the next two I picked up with Avengers Infinity War, my 3 copies of that, which are the original Avengers and Age of Ultron in 4K. Now, I didn't do a review of these yet, but I did watch them, and I think the picture uptick provided by the HDR and the 4K are very good. It's a worthy upgrade. There's issues with the sound, which is kind of a common thing with Disney Masters these days. I won't get into that too much, but I cranked it up. It was fine. I enjoy seeing the Avengers in the best format possible. So yeah, so both of those movies look really good. I felt out of the two, the original looked the best. I felt the colors popped more. In Age of Ultron, I don't remember it being so dark when I saw it originally in the theater or on Blu Ray, but it's definitely a darker tone and the colors are more subdued. But still, there are several scenes where the HDR are very, very prominent, and it's well worth an upgrade. If you have any qualms about that, wait for a sale. I know those are hard when it comes to the Marvel Disney stuff, but I think it's worth an upgrade. I do have the original Steelbooks still. I'm keeping them forever because they do actually have the 3D copies in them, and they're not making any more 3D in the States, at least, for the studio. So yeah, check those out. They're awesome. So the last couple, this one I saw as a Movie Pass selection in the theater, and that would be Tully. And I bought this day one. The odds of it getting a 4K I felt weren't great, but this was a very decent movie. It's a good Charlize Theron film, and I thought it was going to end one way, and I was glad it didn't, because I think I would have disappointed in that type of ending. I don't want to spoil what it is, but it's a good movie. It's funny. It's sad in parts, and it's a really decent effort by the entire team behind the movie. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to watching this again. So yeah, check out Tully. It really is a decent film. So this one is a rebuy. I don't know what I can really say about it other than it's kind of a classic in its own way, but it's also one of the first by a prominent director, and that would be Peewees Big Adventure. I felt like I grew up on this one, and I watched it many a times on my VHS cable, and I don't think I ever owned the DVD, but I did own the Blu Ray back in the day, and unfortunately had to go through that thing. But I saw this for, I think, $7 or something, $6-7 on Amazon a couple weeks back, and I'm like, definitely got to get this. That's another thing. So I guess you might be asking, what's my criteria about buying stuff that I owned already besides the 4K thing, which I mentioned before? It's also the price. I don't feel that buying something I already owned at a price as a new disc would be today is economically feasible. It's just, no, I'm not going to spend $15-20 on something I owned before when I can just wait it out. As I said, I'm patient. I still have about 75, 80 titles on my wish list that are just rebuy movies. I have about another 50 or so that are just blind buys that I want to pick up. And I set myself a limit for how much I buy a week. And, it's serving me well, but it feels like it's kind of a slow pace. So, it's like a little trade-off there. You just gotta do what you gotta do. But anyway, so this movie I did a review on recently with its counterpart. That would be Resolution. This was absolutely a blind buy. Very decent film. I'm going to go back to this one and The Endless in about a month and watch them concurrently, just to see all the stuff that's really connecting the two movies. I recommend this one wholeheartedly. Check out my video for my full thoughts on it, and yeah, check out Resolution. It's a good film. It really is. Finally, this one I picked up a couple weeks ago. This was a blind buy. I heard people raving about it. And so I didn't feel a 4K was on its way, so I just picked up the standard Blu-ray. And that would be Revenge. Now, I didn't do a review on this one. I did watch it. I felt the picture quality was pretty good. It had a lot of filter action going in, but the picture itself was clean. And the audio itself was atmospheric. This one, as for the movie itself, I felt it was okay. I don't think I would go back to it very often. I might pick it up in a year or so and see, if it grew on me or anything. But it's a movie about a woman who is her boyfriend is at this mountain house, or at this desert mountain house, and invites her for the weekend, and she's getting ready to leave, and his buddies show up, and the one buddy does something pretty horrible to her, and then of course he would rather stand up for his buddy because he's married, and she's the mistress. So it kind of, just use your imagination, it goes from there. I don't know, I felt the first 45 minutes are probably the best part of the movie. The ending felt like it was just being dragged a bit. The scene with the boyfriend towards the end, it felt like it was just going around and around and around. And it literally, honestly. But do I recommend this? Sure, for $10 if you can find it. Go for it. I think that's the thing about me. I love revenge movies. Count of Monte Cristo and, Revenge with Kevin Costner, and even RoboCop, I believe, is a revenge movie at its heart. And just revenge movies are some of my favorite. This didn't do that. It didn't scratch that itch for me. I think if there would have been like more of an adversarial threat, towards the latter half of the movie, it might have redeemed it a little bit for me. It's a $10 movie to me. I wouldn't pay. What did I pay? I think it was like $13.99 or something. Sure, I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna cry about that, but it was okay. The acting, everybody was fine. I just think the story itself could use a little more meat to it. And I think they were going for a metaphoric thing, and it just kind of came across as cheesy. And it just, at the end of the day, it's a mediocre film. It's something like if I flip by cable, I might stop and watch it for a few minutes, kind of thing. But yeah, check out Revenge. Sure, it's a $10 movie in my opinion, but what are you gonna do? So that's pretty much gonna be it for the August 2018 Blu-ray 4K pickup. If you like these videos, please like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification. I put out videos on a daily basis. I love doing this. I love talking about movies, and I want to hear your feedback. Leave a comment in the comments below. So yeah, that's going to be it. So this is Adam for Movie Guy 365, and I will see you at the movies.